Sometimes advanced threat campaigns last for weeks or maybe even months, either intentionally or because their malicious activity is uncovered. Sometimes, however, they can fly under the radar for years. Case in point, the APT campaign Ferocious Kitten. Active since at least 2015, this group has been conducting covert surveillance against Persian-speaking individuals in Iran. And it wasn't until a suspicious alert document was uploaded to VirusTotal this year that their cyber espionage was uncovered. I'm here today with one of our experts to learn more about this campaign and their findings. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you first discovered Ferocious Kitten?
Yeah, so everything started by a tweet. A security researcher published a tweet saying he discovered an unknown malware and published a screenshot of the malicious document used to drop the malware on the system. So we saw this tweet and we decided to spend time and understand who is behind, what threat actor used this specific template, and try to understand what is the story behind this malicious document.
Interesting. So why do you think this campaign went unnoticed for so long?
So we must keep in mind that the malware was already detected by a couple of security products. The point is we must make a clear distinction between detecting something and understanding the story behind a malicious code. In our case, we spent time to understand who is behind this malware, how it was used, what kind of victimology we have. And in this time, nobody really spent time on this specific case, on this specific malware, and no security company make any publication about it. But it doesn't mean it was not detected at all. It simply means we didn't know the story before we spent time on it, and we decided to publish our research to share this knowledge to the community.
Okay. Well, what then can you tell us about the unique malware used in this campaign, MarkiRAT?
So MarkiRAT is a malware that was used during 6 years. So during these years, we can see an evolution. So the developer patched some bugs, add some feature, and we can see the evolution. It's not something really advanced. We are used to work on really more complex malware than this specific one, but it does a job. So if it's used for 6 years, we can assume it reached the goal of this specific threat actor. The purpose was really to spy user. So he's able to make screenshot of the victim's computer, but he is also implemented a keylogger. So he is able to steal everything which is written by the victim. It's also really interesting by a couple of files. It's based on the file extension. So he's looking for all the Office documents, such as Word document, Excel document, which is pretty common, but it is also very interesting by more security product files, such as KeePass. So he's looking for file where users store their password, but it is also interested by GPG key. So it's where GPG, for example, stored private key. So we can see that this actor is really looking for secret and for chat with from the target with other people or email. So it's really espionage focused, and this is probably the particularity of this malware. It is not designed to do anything else than spying the targets.
And when in the report, when you were talking about this malware, you mentioned that it had both Chrome hijacking and Telegram hijacking elements. Can you tell us a bit more about those and how they operate?
Yes, of course, I can explain the mechanism. So when you're a malware developer, you want to be sure that your malware is executed when the system reboots. So how they perform this task? Generally, they create a persistence. It's mainly based on registry key. The point is it can be easily detected. You have a couple of security products that check what is executed at the boot of the machine. In this case, the developer implemented a hijack on legitimate application. So the malware check if Chrome or Telegram is installed on the victim computer, and if it's installed, the malware will replace the shortcut used to execute this legitimate application. So the malware will modify the shortcut to execute itself first, and then the legitimate application. So in this case, the malware is not automatically executed at the boot, but it is executed when the user wants to launch the browser or Telegram. He double-clicks on the shortcut, and the malware is executed, and later the real application is executed. In this case, the malware doesn't really need persistence. The persistence is the user interaction on application he used every day, as usual.
How is Ferocious Kitten connected with other threat actors in the region, such as Domestic Kitten and Rampant Kitten? And what do you think this says about the threat landscape in Iran as a whole?
So we did not identify clear links between all these threat actors interesting by this region. There is some TTP similar. For example, Ferocious Kitten is looking for KeePass file where the victim store his passwords. And it was something that the other actors in this region, such as Charming Kitten or Domestic Kitten, did in the past. But we cannot really say if it's a link or if it's simply this application is massively used in this country, and each actors will target this application because it's used. Another thing is they are also creating fake application, and this fake application is based on a VPN client. And this VPN client is massively used in this country. So we don't know if it's a link between threat actors saying, yeah, we share our tool together, or if it's simply this application is massively used and it's the perfect target. So yeah, the region is the same. Some TTP are shared between each threat actor, like Charming Kitten, Domestic Kitten, and our case, but we don't have a strong link between all these actors.
To learn more about our experts' Ferocious Kitten findings, you can go to securelist.com. And meanwhile, our experts will be keeping an eye on how this group's activity progresses, as well as other groups' activity in the region. To stay up to date on the latest threat research and the threat landscape as a whole, you can subscribe to Kaspersky Threat Intelligence Reporting. Most importantly, stay safe, everyone.